So Shannon has done some of her best work here. Now let's see if I can do something good with it. So here's our album, and we are on to, this is part 3 technically of our album. And I'll show you the front. We have a pocket here, and then when we open it up this way, it flips up like so, and then this flap opens like so. We have a little pocket, another page, a page with a flap here, and then a little gate page here. So I've got some ideas for stuff to do. Let me show you what we're going to work on first. I think I want to work on this pocket first. I'm really excited about the idea I have here. So let me show you. So this page, I want to make pockets out of this. And what I want to do is I want to fussy cut around these pumpkins on this side, on the outside. And I want to cut straight up through the middle of them. Matter of fact, I may just go ahead and cut straight up through the middle. But I'm going to create pockets on these pages with them. So let me see how I want this to go. I think I'm going to use my pencil to make a mark here. I'm going to mark about here. And then I'm going to flip this guy over. Get it where you can see it. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to bring my pumpkin over to the edge, or close to the edge, using this pumpkin. And I'll make a mark here. So now I can see just how close that is that I need to cut up. Let's go ahead and cut up that straight edge. This may not make sense for a minute, but once I do it, you'll be like, oh, I get it. It's we're kind of working backwards, okay? So I'm going to put this into my trimmer, and I'm going to cut on those pencil marks I made. So I'm going to have like a little 1/4 inch strip up the middle that's coming out. So that little guy we don't need. And now we have these 2 pieces. So what I want to do is fussy cut this edge. So I want to make this shape come from here. And I can really be as fussy or not as fussy, whatever I want to do here. I can add grass, shapes of grass, like cutting in little nips or anything I want to do. But I think I'm not going to do that. I think I'm just going to follow the shape of the pumpkin, leave myself a little edge, and just fussy cut all the way up here. So there's my 2 pieces cut out, and you can see how I switched them around, right? Because they were like this on the page. So we're going to use them like this. Let's go back to our book. Now, one reason I didn't want to add the little grass to the edges, I didn't want to do any little like pointy pieces out here, is because I want this to be a pocket. And if I had done that, we'd take a chance of it catching all the little things we put inside. So what I want to do is put this down and only glue 2 sides so we can tuck something in there. Won't that be cute? I think this will work. So let's glue it down and see what happens. So just gluing that to the corner of our blue page. I'm not going to have any of that blue show underneath, or that greeny blue. I'm just going to glue this directly down. And then we have that little lift to put something in. That, I like that. Let's do it on the other side too. And you're going to notice I'm not inking every page. I feel like some of this doesn't need ink. I don't want my album to get too dark. There may be places we ink here and there, but here I kind of like the brightness that this is adding by not inking it. I think it needs a little bit of light every now and then, because I don't want it to get too dark. I know it's a fall album, but we want it to be kind of bright and cheery at the same time. That is really cute. I really like how that turned out. So now we have 2 pockets on top of a pocket. I like that. All right, let's go to the next one. Now this guy I have kind of grand plans for, and I want to start by making a strap that goes across this page that we will then slide things in, like photo pockets or photo mats into. So I'm going to create a little strip right here. So let me get that started. So I've cut 2 strips. I've got one that is kind of this burgundy color here, and that's really pretty. And I'm thinking about layering it with a second color, but I'm really not sure. When I saw that burgundy, I think the burgundy might be the only one I need there. Let me see. Sure is pretty, because the plant. Oh yeah, see, I really like that. I think this might be too much, so we're just going to use the burgundy strip. Now, if you're a person who plans ahead, I am not that person, okay? But if you are, if you want to cut this strip 1/2 inch longer on each end and turn that under, and then you can glue it underneath this page here before you glue it into the book, that's perfectly fine. I did not do that. And honestly, I don't really need to, because I want this to lay pretty flat, because the flatter it will lay, the better it will hold whatever we slide into it. So I'm going to put this about right here, and I'm gluing it straight down. And I really don't want, I normally do that pinch and get it to lift in the middle. I don't want to do that here, because I want this to hold whatever I put down. Okay, so I want it to stay super flat. So I'm just going to glue that all the way flat down, and then we're working with this. So here's my next plan. So Shannon so kindly took all of the ephemera pieces that I wanted home over the weekend and cut them out for me. And I just think this window will be so pretty right here, kind of hanging off this edge. And I thought it might be cool to extend the scenery onto this little strap, right? Or this little strip we made. So let me show you what I was thinking about. I love this little scarecrow guy. I think he'd be cute kind of peeking out right here. And then maybe having some pumpkins or something next to him. These little pumpkins are super cute to maybe live something like that, kind of continuing our scene out. And you could even go all the way to the edge. This is a pile of leaves if you wanted to put those there, which I think is super cute. But I want to be able to see a little bit of the break here and there. So these guys need to live specifically here. When we open this up, we can work to kind of make everything blend together. Okay. So I'm going to glue this down here. I feel like these need to be inked. Now that's weird, isn't it? Because I was talking about light, but you see just how white these are? I feel like these need a little bit of color on their edges. So I'm going to run around and ink these guys really quick. All right, let's glue our window down. So I'm going to add some glue to it here. I told you guys I'll be telling you more about this glue gun or this precision glue press as we go. You have to be careful not to overpress it. You can easily squeeze that guy too hard. So you'll have to get a feel for it when you get yours home and start using it. But be careful. We do have more on order. Vinny ordered a whole bunch because they were so popular the day we showed them. So there are more coming. I just think, look, it just made the page. Like you just glue it down and you're done. Thank you, Mintay. I just love it. All right. So I'm going to lay this guy first and then this little guy because I want him to kind of peek out. But I need to give myself a mark as to where to glue my pumpkin. So what I'm going to do is just put a little pencil mark so I can know where to place that guy. So my little scarecrow will peek out and not be hidden behind. So go right here and put that little mark where I had it. Now you have some room in here if you want to use some foam, if you want to pop some stuff up. I'm not. I like to lay stuff flat in these albums. I feel like they might flatten over time anyway, so it's just easier to do them that way. So I'm not adding all that foam. Plus, I don't really want to waste all that foam. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of foam to put inside of here for something like that. All right, I got to be careful. I did not think about the fact that his little hat is going to be overlapping there. So I'm just going to go back here and make sure I get any glue off of that with my finger and not glue him down. Isn't that cute? Now we can do whatever we want here. We can continue the scene out. So I grabbed a couple more pieces, and what I'm going to do is kind of layer this and just continue my little scene out. So I want to make myself a mark where I want this log to go, and I think it's right there. So my little pumpkin can be the bridge between the two. Here, I think that's where that was supposed to be, like that. And then I'm going to glue the pumpkin in between the two. Do you see how I'm not gluing every tiny little edge down? I really don't mind if it gets a little ragged over the years. I think that looks good. So I really don't mind if these little pieces get lifted or twisted or that little leaf gets kind of worn. I think that just makes it feel very used and very loved. Then I have this one leaf. I just wanted this to go out just a little bit further. So I'm going to put that little leaf right there. Okay, and then this is now ready for us to slide something behind it, pictures or what have you, okay? All right, what's going here? So I'm in love with this little deer, and I also have this piece of orange. It's just a scrap from what I was using. I think I'm going to cut it the same width as this brown. I'm just going to make a pencil mark so I don't have to measure, and then just put that in the trimmer. Let's do that right here. And I need to ink my little deer image because he's a little bit pale, but I'll show you what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking if I put this down kind of low and I glue this guy on, I think this is going to be a little bit weird, but I'm only going to glue the bottom strip of this orange. So if I decide to put a photo in here, I can slide it kind of behind that orange, not creating a pocket, but just leaving it open. So if I want to put something behind it, and I may even incorporate a punch. I haven't done that, but I think it could use a little more movement here. Okay, Shannon and I are just sitting here laughing, and y'all won't have heard that because it would have been edited out. But we're laughing because I just keep getting busier and busier with this album. And I know some of you are watching that now going, oh my goodness, she just keeps adding. But I can't help it. It's what I do. So remember, if I ever add more than you would add, just don't add it. Just do your thing. But I love a busy, busy album. So here's what I mean. I'm going to be using this ribbon throughout this album. I've got some places I want to use it. And I think it would be pretty to wrap it around here like this. I even could turn this around and use the other side. I haven't used that one. Oh, that's cute. It looks like a little picket fence. So I may do that. And then I want to add this little ribbon to it. And I'm just going to glue it around the back and then glue that down like I said. I'm too impatient to wait for this glue to dry. I want to keep moving. So what I'm going to do is I put a little glue in there and I'm putting a little tape. It won't show. You won't see it. And now I want to run glue across the bottom down here. Glue this down just like so. Again, just leaving that as a free edge for me to do something with later. And then this little guy is going to go right here. Isn't he adorable right there? Oh my goodness. That was a good idea. It looks like he's standing at a little picket fence or something. All right, guys, there's just not enough happening on this page. So I'm going to add this pumpkin right here. It just needs it. You see that it does as soon as I set it down. I know you all said it. Okay, I'm really going to set some of you guys off now. I'm adding these leaves. I think it's cute. I know I'm getting busy right here, but I think it is cute. And I just felt like if this little scene needs some leaves falling. Okay, we will move on from here. We've done enough damage, right? Okay. So look, isn't that cute though to have him peeking around and have that window? I think that looks really cool. And then when you open it up, you can see the rest of the story. Super cute. All right, let's see where we want to go next. I'm going to do this page next because this is another pretty big scene. I've got to decide what I'm going to do. I really love these windows that are in the book, but I don't know if I want to use them kind of here. I don't feel like they really go. So give me a second to do some thinking about this page and then we'll come back and decorate. Okay, you guys, kind of like we did on the other page, I'm going to add another one of these kind of bands across here. And I love this green one. And look, this little farm stand was in the very, very back of the book on the back page. And I'm going to put it here. And I love this little boy figurine that is here. I'm going to put him like this. And then there's a couple other things. This little pumpkin set, I think I'm going to put it out here as if it's just kind of living off in the field a little bit. And then another pumpkin to soften up that corner. So I'm going to glue that down just like that. Okay, so in these little flaps, we made these pockets. We need to make something to go inside of those. And let me show you my plan. I cut 2 pieces of craft cardstock that are 3 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then I took my angle punch using the large size at the top. I just did 2 corners to make a little tag like so. Then from some of my scraps, I had these pieces that were scrapped from, covering pages and stuff like that. I cut them 3 by 6 and I'm going to do the same thing in the top corners. I'm going to angle cut them and then I'm going to mat these tags. Now, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with these tags. I may leave them pretty blank in this album. So whenever I put pictures in or if I want to do journaling, this is a good spot. But I do want to cover them and I do want to add some ribbon to the top. Now, at the top of this guy, I'm going to poke a couple of holes. I just covered it with the cardstock. And I'm just going to eyeball the center here. And I'm cutting a pretty large hole, meaning the largest one on my crocodile, which is 3/16. So I want a little more room there. I'm also going to add some of these eyelets. This is a yellow one that I'm going to put in here. I thought it'd be a good pop of color. So I'm just going to pass that through the hole and then squeeze it with my crocodile. Now I have a full video showing you how to do this. So if you're wondering how I do it, check out that video because it'll explain it better. All right, got my eyelets installed. And now let's put some ribbon through there. So the ribbon I'm using is some we have in store called Windsor Creek. Isn't that pretty? I know this is plaid on plaid and I know it's making some of you guys cross your eyes. I'm sorry, but I love it. So I'm using my bead threader. I'm going to feed this through the eyelet, and then I've made a loop with my ribbon. I'm going to stick that loop through because I want to do a slip knot. I find that's easier, and I also think that they lay better on these tags. So you see I pulled the loop through. Okay, I'm going to open it up, grab the loose ends and pull them through the other side, and then tug. But be careful because you can pull this all the way out if you're not careful. I have done that before. So just get that kind of snug. That's cute. I like that like that. And I'm going to do the other one the same way. Now, I'm not as concerned about the length of my ribbon yet. I don't want them to be the same length of each other anyway. And I'm going to trim them down once I get them into the album, kind of when we finish, because I got some other places I want to use ribbon as well. So let's slip a tag into here. I think I'll let the green be facing forward. You won't see a whole lot of that color because I made it pretty short or pretty much the height. Isn't that pretty like that? Just a pop of color. These pockets will get better and better as you use them. They're a little tight, but they will get better and better because that's how any pocket does. It has to loosen a little bit. Super cute. Love that. Okay, so there's those. Now what I want to do is show you that other way I want to use ribbon. All right, guys, with the ribbon, we're going to get experimental, okay? I think it'd be pretty to have ribbon inside of each one of these places of the spine so that when you open the album, you see the ribbon. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to kind of loop it around so it goes into each one of those and then bring it here and tie it together. Now, if this is going to work, I don't know. I've never done it, but we're going to see if it will. So you may have to kind of just kind of watch me do this with a little music, maybe fast forward it, and then at the end, I'll show you how it turns out. I kind of want to tell you what I'm doing, so let me try. So I put a length of ribbon in the first section, and I left myself plenty up here to tie a bow on the outside. I'm going to use this bullnose clip to hold this in place because I don't want to glue this down. I just want this to be wrapped in here, okay? So I put that piece in, then I wrapped it around one time here, around the back, and then I came right here and pulled that through. So now I've got 2 of the 4 spines covered in ribbon. Now I'm going to open this page up. Okay, I'm going to take my ribbon behind like so, and I'm going to pull it around to the front. Now, I just dropped my ribbon spool on the floor. That's just kind of how I do this so I can easily roll it. So see, I've got that around the front, and then we've got another page. I'm going to do this way. I'm going to wrap it around again, put it into this spine, and then bring it out the bottom. And because it's going to come out the bottom, we should be able to tie everything together with that piece we left at the top. I think this is going to work, you guys. Okay, so let me gather everything up here. I'm going to turn it on its side for you to see it. See how that looks there? I probably can straighten it a little bit because I'm a little bit crooked here and there. Okay, so here's the plan. It's hard for you to tell what ribbon is what. This is the bottom ribbon, okay? This is the top ribbon right here. I'm holding it with my fingers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send my bead threader under these other pieces like so. And I want to run these end pieces underneath everything. Now, Shannon said, are you going to glue those? That's a good question. I don't want to glue them. I just want to tie it. A couple reasons. Number one, if everyone uses ribbon again, it's not glued down and it's a lot of ribbon, right? Number two, I want it to feel just kind of part of the album, if that makes sense. So I've got that piece under there. Now I need to send my bead threader back the other side to pick up the other piece. Like so. Pull it under. We're getting somewhere, you guys. We're getting somewhere. All right. And then I'm going to bring them together here and tie them right here. If you have a friend in the craft room, you probably could just get a friend to help you. And I do have one, but I didn't ask her to help me. Instead, she's just sitting there watching me going, is that going to work? Is that what you're thinking? Then let's tie a bow. And I kind of like this. I think it's a neat little extra added something. Little something different. So see, that's kind of cute. Something different here. And then I'll finish that off with whatever length I want it when we're done. And then when we look out here, look how pretty our spine looks. Let me get it where you can see all the spine. Isn't that pretty? Every piece now has that pretty ribbon inside. Oh, that's the end. No, here it is. There's the end. Isn't that pretty? I like it. Do you like it? Shannon says she gives it her approval. All right, so let me keep going. So let's go inside. Let's fill our pockets up. Let me show you what Shannon made for me. She, we did these photo mats that look like this. Well, she went ahead and made them double-sided for me and just made me a stack to put in here. So that's brown already. Let's use a different color. I'm going to stick a couple of these in each of the pockets. And so that way we can add more photos here too. Won't that be cute? And we got several places we can put these. So we've got it here. Then, remember these little bands that we made? We can put 1 or 2, whatever we want to put in there. I'll put 1 in there for now. Then I'll put another one in here. Let's use this. Let's use brown in this one. Just slide that in. And of course, if you use this for an event, like if you're using this book for maybe a fall trip you take or something, you may have some ticket stubs. You may have some actual leaves that you pick up on your walk or something like that you want to stick in there. All different things you can do. Let's see, I think that's all of my pocket places. So you know what? Let's add a second one here. And then we've got them all in here. All right. Now, I only have one other thing I want to do to this guy. And this is the easiest part. I want to run through and I want to glue ephemera just in different places, just around my photo mats. And let me show you, I don't really have to go wild with this because I've got a lot of pretty cool pieces already in here. But like say this area, we are all in love with this little squirrel that came in this set. But see that? I can put that there. I can add maybe some leaves up at the top, something like that. But that's all I'm going to do for the rest of this is just decorate around my photo mats, and then we'll look at the whole thing when it's done. I am going to ink all of these guys and then glue them. Now, let me give you a tip. When you go to glue them, remember, we don't want to glue down on top of the photo mat. We want to leave that open. So when I glue him down, I'll just glue these two sides so I can put a picture underneath him. So let me get that done, and then we'll come back and do a walkthrough. Okay, really quick, before we finish the inside of this guy, okay, you can see I did a little bit. We'll talk about all that in a few minutes. I'm going to put some grommets here. I'm going to create a little closure. And what I'm going to do, I want to match where I've been doing ribbon everywhere. And I don't really want to cover up this gate too awful much. So I'm going to go back to my hole punch. And let me turn this way so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to slide this in like so. Just kind of pick where I want it. About like that. Then I want to try to match that up on the other side. And I could measure and all that. And I may end up, I want to see if I can see it pretty good. Let's measure because I don't want to mess that up. So get my ruler. So the center of this guy ended up being 1/2 inch. So let's go right here and we'll use that side to help us line up. The ribbon is going to be forgiving too because we're going to put a little ribbon in here. So it'll help. So something like that. That's pretty good. I think it's a little off, but like I said, the ribbon will help. All right, I'm going to put a grommet in, or an eyelet. I always call these grommets. These are eyelets, not grommets. So I don't want to run ribbon through one and out the other and tie it because I don't want to have to undo that every time I'm in the album. So what I'm going to do instead is stick my bead threader through, put one end of my ribbon through the back, and I'm just going to tie a knot on this ribbon so it won't pull through the eyelet. And I may need to tie it twice. I'm not sure. It might be enough with one. That actually feels pretty good. And so I'm going to let that be like that. I think that's kind of cute, and it'll be tucked in. So I'm going to cut it a little bit shorter because it's a little bit long. You may want to fray check this, or some people might hit the ends with a lighter. I'm not really sure what kind of ribbon this is, so you might consider fray checking it. But that will give me a ribbon here that I don't have to re-thread every single time. So I'm going to do that again over here. Okay, so there's 2 ribbons in there. And now, let me show you this. So, you know, earlier we did that little orange piece like this that we put in the other pockets or in the other flaps. I think this will be cute here. So I'm going to put that down here on either side and add a critter. I think that'll be cute. Again, I'm leaving that top open. So when I get ready to decorate, I can just tuck something in. So I'm only gluing this to the bottom. Then I'm going to stick down a critter on each one. So on this ribbon in the back, if you're giving this as a gift, even if you're not, if you're using this for yourself even, leave yourself more ribbon than you think you need to tie this bow. It never fails. If you cut the ribbon too short, when you go to tie the bow, you just won't have enough to make it look good. And if you're giving this to somebody who doesn't tie a bow on a regular basis, it could even be a problem for them. So I'm going to try to match these up just a little bit like so. There we go. So more ribbon than I need, but I think that's cute to have a little more ribbon here so it kind of carries throughout the whole book. All right, let's do a walkthrough. All right, so here's the outside. I'm not going to put anything else on the cover until I put pictures in because I'll probably do some sort of title about the event that this is for. But look at the side. Isn't that cute with that ribbon? I really like the ribbon. I think it turned out cute there. And then let's look inside. So inside here, you will see, get that open, that we have that beautiful cover here. You just don't have to do anything to those pages. They're stunning. And then we've got a place for 2, 4, 5 photos, because remember, these are front and back, and you technically could put one underneath there if you wanted. And then when we open it up, you start to see my ribbon in here too. And then this page flips up. And look, I want to show you something I did. To get more mileage out of my ephemera pieces, I cut some of them in half and put them to the top and the sides of the page. I just thought that kind of looked cool. And instead of only having 1 piece on this page, it ended up with 2. And then these are literally just glued around. You see how I did that? I just glued these little guys down, leaving them open so I can put pictures in. Then I love this page with the little guy peeking around the corner. And we open that up. We see our little deer down there, which is also a place we can put something behind. And then we've got our little place photo here piece. And this is front and back also. And if it's a little loose, don't worry. When you add a photo to the front and back, it'll get thicker and that'll help hold it in as well. And then here as well, 5 photos. This is actually 4 more photos here. Got our little scene. And then when you come here, we've got another place that you could put something in. I'm thinking ticket stubs or something like that in there from an event. There's the front and the back. Little place for photos. I put all the food in one spot because I thought if you're taking photos, it'd be easy to get like a picture of you and your family eating food at least once throughout some event. So I thought that'd be cute there. And then, of course, our little gate that we untie like this, and we open it up and we see inside. Isn't that cute? So if you've ever been intimidated by albums, this is an easy one to do. It really comes together quick. It looks like we did a lot of work. We really didn't. We kind of let the album do everything and the paper do even more than that. Can you imagine receiving this as a gift or having this on your bookshelf for years and years to come so you can have this to show to kids and grandkids and even have their pictures inside? I love this. Now I have some good news for you. These albums we thought had been discontinued for good, but guess what? They're coming back. So if you've been wanting some of these and you've missed out, this album will be available end of September, 1st of October, as quick as we can get them in around that time frame. So you'll be able to pick them up again. They're coming back in the white and the black, and they're coming back in both orientations. And I cannot wait. And you know what? I'm so grateful because 49 and Market listened to us. We said we wanted them, and they're bringing them back. So if you missed out, don't worry. You'll still be able to get them, and you'll have them plenty of time for Christmas. These take no time to make. All right, guys, thanks so much for being here. Please don't forget to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up, or as they say in the live show, Vinny it. And until next time, bye now.